What if in just 7 days you could feel younger, lighter, more alive than you have in years? It sounds impossible. It sounds like a dream. But what if this isn't just a dream? What if it's a forbidden truth, hidden in plain sight, buried deep within the forgotten work of a man who vanished without a trace? Jacobo Grinberg. A name many have never heard, and yet his story could rewrite everything we believe about the mind, the body, and the nature of reality itself. Imagine a scientist who tried to map human consciousness like a physical landscape, who dared to blend neuroscience with ancient shamanic rituals, who claimed that reality itself is like a hologram shaped by the mind. And then, just as he was on the brink of a discovery that could change humanity, he disappeared. No struggle, no clues, no body, just... The year was 1994. Jacobo Grinberg was preparing to reveal the findings of years of secret research. He had worked with shamans like the legendary healer, Pachita, who performed surgeries without instruments, claiming to channel otherworldly forces. Grinberg said he had seen her materialize organs and watched patients recover from conditions doctors had declared incurable. He believed the mind, when perfectly aligned, could reshape the physical body. Days before he was set to present this work to the world, he vanished from his home in Mexico City. Investigations found nothing, no trace of where he went, or who might have wanted to stop him. Some say he was silenced, others whisper he crossed into the very dimension of consciousness he was studying and never came back. Why does this matter to you? Because hidden in Grinberg's writings is a method he hinted could rejuvenate the body. Not in years, but in days. He called it tapping the lattice, the underlying field that connects all minds, all cells, all of existence. According to Grinberg, when you synchronize your mind with the lattice, you can reset the information your body uses to age. He believed that aging wasn't just biological, it was informational, and information can be rewritten. Modern science is just beginning to catch up. Today, studies show that stress, belief, and emotional states change how our genes express themselves, that meditation can slow cellular aging, that even a single week of focused inner work can lower inflammation, boost energy, and reset the brain's chemistry. But Grinberg knew this decades ago, and he claimed he had found a way to compress this rejuvenation into a 7-day ritual, a sequence of mental and physical practices that could unlock what he called the original pattern of the body, the youthful blueprint hidden inside you. Most people don't know this. Most never hear his name, because his work was buried after his disappearance. Academic institutions distanced themselves. His notes were scattered, and yet fragments survive just enough for those who dare to piece them together. That's what this video is about. In the next few minutes, you'll discover what Jacobo Grinberg really found, how the mind can reshape the body, and how you can begin using his forbidden method to feel younger in just 7 days. You'll see why this secret was considered too dangerous, and why it might be the most empowering truth you've never been told. Stay with me until the end, because this journey could shift how you see your body, your mind, and your life itself. Welcome to Awaken Synchronicity, where hidden knowledge meets human potential. If you're ready to awaken what's been sleeping inside you, click that subscribe button now, and let's step into the mystery together. Before we talk about the forbidden secret itself, we need to understand the man behind it, Jacobo Grinberg. Because without knowing who he was, it's hard to grasp why his discoveries were so revolutionary and why they might have been silenced. Jacobo Grinberg was born in Mexico City in 1946. From a young age, he was fascinated by the human mind. When he was just 12, his mother passed away suddenly. That loss marked him deeply and pushed him to ask questions most people never dare to ask. What is consciousness? What happens after death? Is the mind more powerful than we think? These questions stayed with him as he grew older, driving him to study psychology at the National Autonomous University of Mexico and later to earn a PhD in psychophysiology from the University of Colorado. But Grinberg wasn't like other scientists. While many stayed inside the walls of laboratories, he ventured into the mountains and jungles of Mexico, seeking out shamans, healers, and indigenous traditions. He wanted to bridge the gap between science and ancient wisdom, between what we can measure and what we can only experience. In the 1970s, he created the Psychophysiology Laboratory at UNAM, and over the years he wrote more than 50 books about consciousness, meditation, telepathy, and perception. Grinberg believed that our brains don't just receive reality, they build it. This became the heart of his most famous concept, the Sintergy theory. According to this theory, the universe is filled with a vast informational field he called the lattice. Everything we see, touch, or feel is shaped by this field. The human brain, in his view, doesn't simply observe the world. It interacts with the lattice to create what we experience as reality. This idea was bold. If the mind shapes reality, then changing the mind could change the world around you. It could even change your body. He suggested that when two people deeply connect, their brains synchronize, allowing them to exchange information beyond normal senses, almost like telepathy. He tried to prove this through controlled experiments, measuring brainwave coherence between people meditating together. Some of his data showed patterns of synchronized brain activity that conventional science couldn't explain. Grinberg also became known for his work with Pachita, a legendary Mexican shaman who performed psychic surgeries. He claimed to have witnessed her open people's bodies with her bare hands, remove diseased organs, and replace them with new ones that seemed to appear out of thin air. He said patients would heal rapidly afterward, defying medical logic. These experiences pushed him to believe that the mind can directly influence matter, and that the body's blueprint might be stored not just in DNA but also in this universal lattice. While his work fascinated many, it also made him controversial. Mainstream scientists dismissed his theories as pseudoscience, yet he continued his research, certain that he was close to proving the existence of the lattice and its link to human consciousness. He believed that if we could tap into it, we could access limitless information, heal ourselves, and maybe even alter the fabric of reality. Then, in December 1994, everything stopped. Jacobo Grinberg vanished from his home in Mexico City just days before presenting his latest findings. There were no signs of struggle, no farewell notes, no confirmed sightings afterward. His disappearance became one of Mexico's strangest mysteries. The police opened an investigation, but it led nowhere. His family said he was in good spirits before he disappeared. His colleagues were shocked. Some people whispered that he had been abducted. Others suggested he had chosen to cross into the dimension of consciousness he was studying, leaving his physical body behind. The site We Are Mitru later described his vanishing as one of Latin America's greatest scientific mysteries, and even decades later, it still sparks debate. How could a man so dedicated to understanding the mind simply vanish without a trace? His disappearance only fueled the legend. Today, his work remains scattered. Some in archives, some in the hands of private collectors, some rumored to be hidden entirely. Even though he's gone, the echoes of his theories are still alive. The idea of a universal field shaping reality, the possibility of the mind rewriting the body's blueprint, and the mysterious power of consciousness, all of it began with Jacobo Grinberg, the scientist who tried to map the invisible and may have paid the price for getting too close. For centuries, ancient cultures believed that the mind and body are woven together by an invisible thread. Jacobo Grinberg took that idea and tried to prove it with science. He didn't see shamanism as superstition. He saw it as an uncharted technology of consciousness. In the remote mountains of Mexico, he spent months living among indigenous shamans who practiced rituals older than recorded history. They taught him that healing begins not in the body, but in the field around it. They believed this field stores memory, emotions, and even the blueprint of the physical form. When it becomes disturbed, illness appears. When it is harmonized, the body returns to balance. Grinberg studied these practices with the curiosity of a scientist, but the openness of a seeker. He watched shamans enter deep trance states, slowing their heartbeats and body functions, as if stepping out of time. They used drumming, chanting, and long silences to shift their consciousness, and he noticed something strange. As their states deepened, they seemed to lose the normal sense of self. They spoke of merging with the earth, the sky, or the spirit world. Grinberg believed this merging was real. He called it aligning with the lattice, a universal field of information. He began measuring the brain waves of people in these trances. What he found shocked him. When two people meditated together, their brain rhythms began to synchronize, almost as if their minds were linking through an invisible channel. Sometimes when one person saw an image, the other's brain reacted even though they couldn't see it. To him, this was evidence that consciousness might not be locked inside the skull, that it could reach out, touch others, and reshape reality itself. While ancient wisdom spoke of energy fields and spirit connections, modern science is now uncovering similar mysteries on a cellular level. Research on epigenetics shows that our environment, emotions, and beliefs can turn genes on or off. Aging isn't just about time, it's about signals. When cells receive stress signals, they shut down functions, grow old, and die. When they receive signals of safety, rest, and joy, they repair themselves. Scientists have even found ways to reverse the age of cells by reprogramming their epigenetic markers, turning old cells back into youthful ones in under a week. Studies published in Nature have shown that removing senescent cells, old cells that spread inflammation, can rejuvenate tissues in days. It's as if the body holds a backup copy of its younger self, waiting for the right command to activate. This is where Grinberg's ideas and modern science begin to merge. He believed that by changing the mind, we change the signals the body receives. By shifting consciousness, we can unlock the body's hidden blueprint of youth. Imagine combining the ancient rituals of shamanism with the precision of modern biology. A 7-day plan to awaken the body's memory of youth. The first 2 days would focus on shifting consciousness. Silence, meditation, and awareness practices create the mental conditions Grinberg believed were necessary to connect with the lattice. This isn't just sitting quietly, it's deep attention, the kind that dissolves old thought patterns. Spending 20 minutes twice a day in mindful stillness can calm stress hormones, rebalance brain chemistry, and open space for new neural connections to form. On days 3 and 4, the focus would turn to cleansing the body. Ancient healers always began with purification. Grinberg wrote that when the mind tries to shift but the body is toxic or overloaded, the connection fails. A clean, light diet rich in water, fruits, and plant-based foods can help reset the gut, which controls much of the body's inflammation and mood. Some may practice gentle fasting, letting the body rest from digestion. Modern science supports this. Short fasting periods trigger autophagy, a natural cleaning process where cells recycle damaged parts and renew themselves. Days 5 and 6 would be about activation. This is when the body relearns how to feel alive. Gentle movement, like stretching, walking in nature, or breathing exercises, sends oxygen and energy through the system. Grinberg believed contact with nature was crucial. He said the lattice is strongest where the Earth's energy flows freely, in forests, mountains, near water. Modern studies agree, time in nature lowers stress hormones, improves sleep, and boosts the immune system. Breathwork also increases oxygen in the blood and stimulates mitochondria, the tiny power plants of our cells, which often slow down with age. Then comes day 7, integration. This is the heart of the process. After cleansing, activating, and clearing the mind, the final step is to align with the lattice. Grinberg said this happens when the mind holds gratitude, love, and clear vision all at once. In this state, the brain stops predicting based on the past and begins imprinting new patterns into the lattice. Practically, this could be as simple as spending the day in gratitude, writing down what you want your life to feel like, and visualizing your body as vibrant and whole. Neuroplasticity research supports this. Intense positive emotion plus focused thought can rewire the brain faster than repetition alone. Grinberg believed that after these 7 days, the body would begin responding to the new information as if it were real, repairing itself, renewing its energy, and returning to its youthful pattern. Some might call this mystical, but biology calls it adaptation. If the body believes it is safe, loved, and alive, it will behave as if it is. There are stories that seem to echo this. While working with Jacobo Grinberg documented patients who came in with advanced illnesses and left walking, smiling, even glowing with life. He described one man who had lost vision in his right eye. Jacobo placed her hands over the eye and chanted in trance. Minutes later, the man said he could see again. Doctors couldn't explain it. To Grinberg, this wasn't magic. It was the lattice reshaping the body when the mind fully believed in healing. Modern research also hints that such rapid change might be possible. A study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences showed that chemical reprogramming could reverse biological markers of aging in human cells in less than a week. Other experiments have shown that even 1 week of meditation can change the expression of hundreds of genes related to inflammation and repair. Science is beginning to confirm what shamans knew: when the mind shifts, the body follows. Still, these ideas invite skepticism. Can the body really grow younger in just 7 days? Most scientists would say no, not completely. Aging is complex, involving genetics, lifestyle, and time. No method can erase decades overnight. But even skeptics admit that 7 days of focused change can improve energy, mood, sleep, and the way genes behave. That might not turn back the clock entirely, but it can tilt the balance toward renewal. And there are warnings. Some people might chase instant miracles and push themselves too hard, fasting too long, over-exercising, or expecting supernatural results. Grinberg himself said belief must be balanced with responsibility. The 7-day process isn't about forcing change. It's about creating the conditions for change to happen. It's not a pill. It's a dialogue between your mind, your body, and the field that connects them. Even now, years after his disappearance, Jacobo Grinberg's vision stands at the border of two worlds, the ancient and the scientific. He believed that if we can align our consciousness with the hidden fabric of reality, the body can remember what it once was and become it again. Trying what Jacobo Grinberg hinted at doesn't mean disappearing into the jungle or giving up everything you know. It begins quietly, in small steps. He never described his methods as extreme. In fact, he warned that pushing too hard could block the very change you're trying to create. The key, he said, is consistency. A gentle but steady shift in how you live, think, and feel each day. The mind resists sudden shocks, but it adapts to small signals. If those signals say, "I am safe, I am alive, I am new," the body will slowly respond as if that's true. Start with the simplest tool of all, meditation. Not hours of chanting, just minutes of stillness. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 before bed. Grinberg saw meditation as the gateway to the lattice, the space where the mind can touch the field that holds all information. The first goal isn't to silence thoughts. It's to watch them without grabbing on. As you observe them, they lose their grip. Stress softens. Brain rhythms begin to slow. In that stillness, the brain becomes more plastic, more able to rewrite itself. Research today shows even short, daily meditation reduces cortisol, the hormone that accelerates aging, and increases telomerase, the enzyme that keeps cells youthful. Alongside meditation, feed the body the way you'd feed a young sapling, lightly and with care. Grinberg wrote that heavy, processed foods create noise in the body's signals, making it harder to connect with the lattice. Choose clean, natural foods. Drink water before you feel thirsty. Eat slowly, with awareness. Nutrition isn't only chemistry, it's communication. Every bite tells your body what kind of world it lives in. Calm meals say, you are safe. Safety lets the body shift from survival mode into healing mode. Rest is another silent but powerful tool. Grinberg believed sleep was when the mind most easily connects with the field. He often said that dreams are fragments of the lattice, slipping into our awareness when the thinking mind relaxes. Most people treat sleep as wasted time. He saw it as sacred, aim for enough hours. But more importantly, aim for quality. Dim lights before bed. Put the phone away, lie in silence, and breathe deeply. When the nervous system calms, the body starts its nightly repair, fixing DNA, flushing toxins, rebuilding tissues. This is when your cells most believe they can become young again. Breathing itself can be a bridge. The shamans Grinberg studied used long, slow breaths to enter trance. He found that breathing patterns change brainwaves in minutes. Try simple breathwork. Inhale deeply for 4 seconds. Hold for 4, exhale for 6. The long exhale tells your nervous system you're safe. It's like pressing a reset button. More oxygen enters your blood. Your heartbeat slows. The inner chatter quiets. Over time, this shifts your baseline state from tension to calm, and calm is where the body heals. And then, there's mindset. This may be the most invisible yet most powerful tool. Grinberg believed thoughts are instructions to the lattice. If your inner voice constantly says, I'm tired, I'm old, I'm stuck, the field listens. If it says, I'm alive, I'm new, I'm open, it listens too. This doesn't mean faking happiness, but gently steering your thoughts toward life. When you wake up, think of one thing you're grateful for. When you walk, notice something beautiful. Gratitude, he said, tunes your mind to the frequency of renewal. It whispers to your cells, grow again. After 7 days of living this way, gently but deliberately, the world can start to feel different. It won't be like waking up as a completely new person, but subtle signs begin to appear. Your energy often shifts first. The heavy, dull feeling in the body starts to lighten. You may wake before your alarm, not out of anxiety, but because your system feels rested. Tasks that drained you might feel easier. That fog behind your eyes begins to clear. Skin can show it too. The body's largest organ often reflects inner stress. After a week of lower cortisol, better sleep, and calmer emotions, blood flow to the skin improves. It can look more vibrant, less pale or puffy. Your eyes may appear clearer. People around you might not know what changed, only that you seem brighter. Mood tends to lift. This isn't forced happiness, but a soft steadiness. Meditation and rest balance neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which shape how you feel. Instead of crashing highs and lows, you may notice a smooth calm even when challenges appear. That stability creates space for curiosity to return. The same curiosity, Grinberg said, opens the mind to the field. Clarity is another sign. When the mind stops racing, space opens for insight. You might solve problems faster, remember details you forgot, or notice patterns you once overlooked. Grinberg believed this clarity wasn't just mental sharpness. It was the first glimpse of the lattice, the underlying web of connections. As if your mind is no longer forcing reality to match old expectations, but finally seeing what's really there. More than physical or mental changes, though, is the subtle sense of connection that often emerges. Many describe it as feeling plugged in. You might catch moments where everything around you seems to move in rhythm. Your thoughts, your steps, even the wind. Grinberg saw this as alignment with the lattice. It's when you no longer feel like a separate piece, but part of a living whole. That feeling alone can make you feel younger, because youth isn't just a body, it's the wonder of belonging to life. But if this path feels so peaceful, why call it forbidden? Why hide it? The truth is, Grinberg's work never fit inside the walls of standard science. He crossed boundaries most researchers avoid. He didn't separate neurons from visions or biology from belief. He dared to say the mind could shape matter, That thought could sculpt the physical world. To a system built on material proof, this sounded like heresy. If he was right, the rules of medicine, aging, even death itself could be questioned. That kind of idea can shake entire institutions. And then there was his disappearance. In December 1994, just as he was about to reveal his new findings, he vanished. No evidence, no closure. One day he existed. The next he didn't. This turned him from a scientist into a legend, and legends are easier to dismiss than living proof. After he vanished, his lab was shut down. His books went out of print. Universities distanced themselves. Some whispered he had been silenced. Others said he had crossed over into the very field he studied, dissolving into the lattice itself. Whatever the truth, his absence made his work seem dangerous. Mixing mysticism and science also made him a target. Scientists accused him of contaminating data with superstition. Mystics accused him of trying to trap the sacred in machines. He stood between two worlds, and both pushed back. Over time, the easiest way to deal with his work was to bury it, to pretend it never existed. Calling it pseudoscience became safer than asking if it might be real. That is why this knowledge lingers at the edges, whispered about but rarely taught. It threatens what we're taught to trust. If the mind can shape reality, then the power isn't in institutions, it's in you. And if anyone could prove that, it was Jacobo Grinberg, the man who tried to map the invisible and then vanished into it. What if the secret to youth was never locked away in a pill, a machine or a clinic, but quietly waiting inside you? Over the past few minutes, you've walked through the hidden path Jacobo Grinberg hinted at, a path that blends ancient shamanic wisdom with modern science, and that challenges the way we think about aging itself. Grinberg believed our body is not a fixed machine that slowly breaks down. It's a living pattern inside a vast field of information, the lattice, and if we can shift our consciousness, we can change that pattern. That is the forbidden secret, not reversing time, but reprogramming how your body and mind respond to time. This secret isn't about instant miracles or extreme leaps. It's about small, powerful steps repeated with full awareness. Steps that gently tell your body, you are safe, you can renew. In the 7-day structure we explored, each phase plays a role in rewriting the signals your body listens to. Days 1 and 2 are about opening the mind, quieting the noise with meditation, slowing your breath, becoming aware of your thoughts instead of drowning in them. This is where the shift begins, because your mind is the gateway to the latter. Days 3 and 4 cleanse the body, stripping away toxins and mental clutter through clean foods, deep rest, and letting go of what weighs you down. Days 5 and 6 bring energy back in through movement, fresh air, gentle exercise, and reconnecting with nature, reminding your cells what vitality feels like. And day 7 is about integration, weaving all those threads together through gratitude, vision, and aligning with the deeper field of reality that Grinberg described. Even trying just one piece of this can start the change. You don't have to transform your entire life in a week. Maybe you simply sit in silence for 5 minutes each morning, or replace one heavy meal with something light and nourishing. Maybe you take a slow walk without your phone and breathe as if the air itself is alive. Each small act whispers a new message to your body and mind, and the lattice listens. The shift doesn't come from force. It comes from resonance. When your inner world begins to hum with the frequency of youth, your outer world slowly mirrors it. Remember, youth is not only about smooth skin or fast steps, it's about how deeply alive you feel. It's the spark in your mind when you see something as if for the first time. It's curiosity without fear, wonder without doubt. That state of consciousness, awake, present, connected, can be felt at any age. It is timeless. And that is what Grinberg wanted us to see. The real fountain of youth is not outside you. It is the field inside you, waiting for you to return to it. So, as you move back into your day, carry this thought with you. Youth isn't the absence of years, It's the presence of wonder. If you choose, begin your own 7 days, not as a challenge but as a quiet experiment. Watch how your body, mind and spirit respond. Because the moment you start to see yourself as new, your cells just might start to agree. If this journey stirred something in you, if it sparked even a tiny flame of curiosity, then keep that flame alive. Like this video, and subscribe to Awaken Synchronicity. Here we explore the hidden truths that can awaken your mind and reshape your reality. One idea can change everything, and maybe this is the one you were meant to hear today.